Alright, I've got the carbs cleaned out. I replaced those needle valves and the float bolt gaskets, and now I have to put them back on the bike, which is more difficult than it sounds because as you can see here, you've got rubber boots on the motorcycle, and they're pretty old, and it's a really tight fit because you don't want any air leaking around them. So what you got to do with these is you got to heat them up. You can park the bike in the sun if you don't have a heat gun, but I'm going to use a heat gun. So I'm also going to hit these with a little bit of PB Blaster multi-purpose lubricant so that hopefully they slide into the boots a little bit easier. I have also taken the front tire of the motorcycle and wedged it in the corner of my garage here so that when I push, I'm going to have to push really hard to get these carbs back on the bike. And the bike is going to want to move on me, so because I don't have another person to hold it for me, I've set it up so that the house will hold it for me. So I'm going to take my heat gun. I've also sprayed a little bit of lubricant inside these boots right here. Now, because it's still early in the morning, I'm heating these up because the rubber's cold. I don't want to break the rubber because these are from 1983 and I still haven't replaced them yet because they're still good. So I'm just going to heat this rubber up. My heat gun is a super useful tool. It only costs about $10, and I've used this thing for all kinds of stuff. I can't even begin to talk. I mean, I've used it for vinyl wrapping, I've used it for plumbing stuff, I've used it for all kinds of automotive things, paint applications. It's great for stripping paint off of the walls. It's good for anything that you traditionally, oh, I'll use a blow dryer for that. Now get yourself a heat gun. Way better. Okay, so now that those are heated up, I've got my gloves on because the tendency is to slip once you're pushing this thing on really hard and hurt your hands pretty badly. So I'm going to slide this in here like so. I'm going to angle it so that I'm putting the top part in first. Let's see here. I'm going to move this. There we go. Throttle into position. As you can see, these are really wedged in here, and you really got to wrestle with them to get them on. So make sure I get my clip back in place. Go. And here we go. That time I actually started from the bottom, so I split the bottom part in first because that seems to be working better. And then I go to the top part. Now the carbs are in, but they're not all the way in. So now you gotta press really hard on them. You want them to pop into place there. All right. That's, I'd say, about 50% of the way in on those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit them with a little bit more heat and then try to get them the rest of the way in there. So this is how you put a carb rack back on a motorcycle. You lubricate everything, and then you heat it up, and then you press really hard. A very non-scientific approach, but it's the approach that works. So like I said, if you don't have a heat gun, I recommend parking this in the sun where the sun can hit the boots. Leave it parked out there for like half a day. Then come out in the late afternoon when the rubber's really nice and soft and pliable, and put this carb rack back on. All right, let's see if we can get this guy. There we go. Come on. All right, we're on over on this side. We're just not on this side over here. So give it a little bit more heat. right. Now what I don't want to do is press really hard on this side alone, because then it'll cause the other side of the carbs to pop out. There we go. So I just wiggle it a little bit and this side popped back in. So there you go. Now these are in place, I'll tighten them down and I can go about reassembling the rest of the wires and stuff that go on there. But that's how you put carbs, a rack of carbs, back on a motorcycle.